All right, let's head over to New York, where a GAA story is bubbling up in the last 24, 48 hours or so. And I'm delighted to say we've got Johnny Glynn on the line. Johnny, obviously everybody in this part of the world is very familiar with you as a Galway hurler, but we're talking to you tonight as the manager of the New York footballers. How's it going?
Not too bad, no. Not too bad. All's good. Well, not the manager as such. More so a selector or trainer, you could say.
Very good. Part of the backroom team anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And tell me, listen, why are we talking to you tonight? What's the story that's brewing in New York GAA circles at the moment that has a lot of people exercised?
So right now, I suppose with the Central Council meeting the weekend and the meetings coming up the next couple of weeks about the Tier 2 Championship to start beginning this year, New York fully want a Tier 2 game. So with talks over here between the county board, management, everything, it was all agreed before Christmas that everyone's fully behind the want and the need to get that Tier 2 Championship match.
Right, and how close do you think you are to getting it, Johnny? What is the actual scenario? What is the situation? And tell us the relevance of those meetings at the weekend. Who will decide whether or not you get a Tier 2 match?
Well, I'm not sure will it be decided over at the meetings, but I know it'll be talked about at the meetings, and it's something I suppose it's very hard for us over here to express how important it is to us to try and get that Tier 2 Championship match this year. But when you look at the past 4 years of first round of Connacht Championships, we've been within a kick of a ball twice and 5 points on another occasion against Sligo. So the main thing for us is that if we had that second game or the third game, we could actually prove to everyone in Ireland how much development is going on here in New York and how we could actually push to see what we could achieve in that Tier 2 Championship match.
Okay, well, let's try and actually put some context on that. So, look, you know at the very elite level what it requires to be a member of an All-Ireland winning panel with the Galway hurlers. You know exactly the level of commitment that it is to be a member of an inter-county team. How close are the New York senior inter-county football team to the standard that would see them potentially having a run in a Tier 2 championship?
Well, for an example there, on the last 3 years, for the off-season work and for the beginning of the New Year's, I obviously couldn't be at home training with Galway, so I used to tag in with New York and do all the training, all the gym programs, the running programs, all that, and my fitness levels, all that was always top-notch when I was going home. So when it comes to the actual facilities and training, all that, everything is in place. We've guys there getting their weekly body fats done. There's GPS tracking going on at training. So the elite standard is there, but we just need the games to prove it that we're actually capable of playing there, you know?
Yeah, and tell us a little bit, obviously there's always that constant question about the lads who are playing for New York, and if you were to win a game in the Connacht Championship, what might actually happen? That next game would more than likely have to be in Connacht, and there'd be visa questions, all that kind of stuff. How would the team be set up now?
So my first year involved was 2016. We played Roscommon, and on that year there was a couple of guys that weren't able to travel. But right now, on the panel of 55 players we have at the minute, every single person can travel, and every single person is willing to travel if this game went ahead. Okay,
so what would the barriers be at this point? Do you need to make an official request to the GAA here? Is that how that works?
Yeah, so New York County Board have made an official request to the GAA at home and have showed that they want it. They're fully behind it. They're fully behind the backing of it. Money's not an issue. Funding's not an issue. So everyone on this side of the pond is fully behind it. We just want to see could we get a chance of being part of it back there, you know?
What kind of an occasion would you anticipate it being? Obviously, you believed you would have a chance, because obviously we're talking about Division 3 and Division 4 teams here, so it wouldn't be a game against Mayo, it wouldn't be a game against Donegal, it wouldn't be a game against the Dubs, it would be a game against an opposition that you would actually believe you've got a chance of winning.
Exactly, yeah. There's a number of teams. The way I see it, regardless, there's 15 guys against 15 guys in a team, but as you look at the teams down throughout the years, when you look at the Sligos, the Leithrams, the Wicklow's, Waterfords, Tipperary's, we wouldn't feel that we'd be too far behind any of those teams, and we'd be able to give them a good match on any given day, you know?
What's the general sense in New York GAA at the moment about their place within that whole kind of competition and the fixtures? Because obviously debates about where the fixtures are going to go have been very central to all GAA conversations over the last number of years, and there is a sense that New York are kind of being left behind in that you know, if there's a new 4 divisions of 8, if they redraw the provincial boundaries, that'll be 4 8s is 32, but it's not 33. You guys aren't in there.
I know we're not at the minute. We're not in there, and the way the current championship goes, it doesn't really allow us to go in. But we kind of feel that this is the first year Tier 2 championship is coming in. That why not add us in? It would be a perfect chance to get New York involved, get them involved. Put the gun to New York's head. See, are they willing to do it? And I can assure you they are.
And tell me,
go
on, you.
So right now, the only way New York can express themselves at home in Ireland is through the World Games, which is great, and it's every 3 years. But in the last 2 World Games, you have the New York Natives football team winning both championships quite easily. And like you're probably looking at between 12 and 14 Irish American kids that will be on our 36 panel come May, the first weekend of May when we play Galway. They're the kids that deserve a chance to play at home, because they're the kids that if they were living at home, I'd have absolutely no doubt in my mind that they'd be on a county setup of whatever counties they'd be from, be it Leitrim, be it Galway, Carlow, Dublin, whatever it is. I'd have absolutely no doubt in my mind that they'd be part of a county setup if they were living at home in Ireland.
And what would that mean to the Irish community in New York for a game to be held here with a New York team?
Well, it would mean the world to the GAA community in New York. Sure, like you're at the minute we're trying to develop a complex over here at the minute, like a sports house of excellence, or whatever, through the GAA. But like even little things like that would drive everyone here to see that there's actually something that they can work for, that they're playing at home in Ireland. So it would mean developing stuff over here that everyone will get behind and everyone will be fully with it, because they don't just see it as the one game a year now. They see it as a chance to do something, a chance to portray what New York GAA is about back home in Ireland.
And would it matter, would you agree that there would be no second home match for New York, or would you just say, look, treat us the same as everybody else, let the draw be the draw, and if we get picked out first and then we've got a home game, so be it? Well,
be it the first year coming, no problem that you travel back to Ireland, no bother, the next couple of years, just to prove that we're willing to do it. And if we can prove it, which I know, have no doubt in my mind we can prove it, maybe down the line you could bring it back to the first person draw out home venue. But right now, New York have absolutely no issue about travelling back to Ireland to play games at home.
Right. And have you any idea yet of what the response is actually going to be like from the GAA hierarchy here? Do you think that they're open to this idea? Have you had any communication with them, even any off the record backdoor channels?
Well, on a personal note, I haven't. I wouldn't know an awful lot of people myself back there, but I'm sure the hierarchy here in New York have had conversations with the hierarchy back in Croke Park, and I believe that New York were asked to put in official requests for it, and which they done so. So it just proves that everybody in New York are behind us. We just hope it might push through back home, you know.
Okay, and when do you expect to hear, Johnny? What's your timeline? Is it Congress officially? Does it have to go all the way to Congress, or can it be decided kind of before then?
No, I believe it has to go all the way to Congress, but I suppose with the weeks leading up to Congress, you'd be hoping everyone would have a fair idea what's going to happen.
Yeah, so ideally, if it does have to go to Congress, a motion is allowed to go and people are kind of coming out and saying, yeah, we think this is a good idea. I can't see anybody in Ireland disagreeing with the notion that you should be in this Tier 2 championship, especially because no one really thinks this Tier 2 championship is going to exist for that long in its current format anyway, especially if the rest of the fixtures proposals are being voted on, some of them at this Congress and some of them at a special Congress later on in the year anyway.
Exactly. So like if it's a short-term thing, I don't see why New York can't be involved, why they can't be involved in some shape or form. You know, like right now we've a new chairperson here, Joan Hinchy. She was voted in as chairperson in New York, and she's been dealing with the underage kids that I spoke about at the World Games since they were maybe 7, 8, 9 years old. And she can see the development. I know she's 100% behind this to get this going, because she can see the effort that's going in over here, and they all deserve a chance back there to prove to counties back home that they're well capable of competing at this level.
No, especially if they're playing in the World Games, and I think there's New York teams coming over to Fail as well, is there?
Exactly. There's the New York teams going home to Fail the last couple of years, doing very well in Fail. You've an under-16 development team that goes home playing games. You have a college team I think it's under 21 that goes home, plays a few games each year, and they're all like, each of the games that they go home will just show that the kids over here are well capable of competing at any level at home.
And come here, Johnny, what's your own story? Are you hurling this year with Galway? Has any of that been decided, or what's the crack?
Oh well, sure. Look, I don't really know exactly what's going on there at the minute. I suppose that renew my own visa and stuff like that. But I've been in touch with Shane O'Neill and the lads at home, and we'll see how that goes.
Okay, so you're not ruling that out. You'd be available if everything, all things being equal, you might be.
Sure. If everything in a perfect world, if everything worked out, of course there would be, you know.
Right, Grant. So you're not going to play football. You're going to be a member of the backroom team for the New York footballers. Hopefully.
Oh yeah, no, I won't be. I won't be able to kick it out of my way, but I'll be able to keep them fit in there.
Right. Well, listen, Johnny. We'll keep on top of this story, and we'll ask the GAA for comment about what the actual process is from this point forward. And who knows? Hopefully, we could see your lads on the field a couple of times, more than once anyway, this summer.
Exactly, and that's all we need is just a chance to prove it, and nobody will be disappointed, I can assure you that.
Well, listen, I hope it's all going well for you in New York, Johnny. Thanks a million for joining us.
Sound lads, thanks a million, thank you.